It's Ginger from Stamping the Cape, and I'm here with the June Paper Pumpkin Kit and my alternatives. Hopefully you got this lovely little kit. It's sort of like meant to be sort of paying it forward and acts of kindness, random acts of kindness. What it is you get this lovely little case, and you can actually even just give this as a gift, but it creates these adorable little cards, enclosure cards, that you can give with a gift or just a little lift me up kind of thing to someone who may be having a little difficult time or not feeling well or has just had some sadness, or maybe you have a neighbor who's just, an older person who's just lonely and, maybe they've done things for you in the past and now it's time to return them. So that's what these cute little cards are. They're very tropical themed and whatnot. And so what I've done is I've created some alternates using the kit. And I've also brought in a few other products that are also with a coastal nautical theme. This is the stamp set. I don't know if you can see. This is the stamp set that came with the kit. If you're a subscriber, you already know that. But you've got, coral and some other type of either a sand background or a corally background, a starfish, and a sand dollar. And you've got some great sentiments like, you made my day special, you are amazing, thank you means so much, just a little smile, and my day is better because of you. So anyway, so let me show you what I've done. For the first card, I know people like to have standard size cards, so I just used a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 Whisper White, and I've used 2 of the little enclosure cards that came with the kit. I'm using, let's see, it's this one is up here, and then I've used the sand. From this one, I actually cut it off and attached them this is right on the edge of this piece, and then I attached it to a piece of 3.5 by 3 3/4 Coastal Cabana cardstock. Now, if you're doing this, you want to put this piece together first and then measure your length. Depending on where you put this little attachment here, may be varied by 1/8 of an inch or so. And then these are 2 of obviously the pine trees from the kit, and I've used some of the fronds that we got from the kit, the little vellum coral piece, and I stuck a little sand dollar in the back. And then this happy birthday sentiment is from our April Paper Pumpkin Kit, so I thought that would make a good birthday card. Then when I started playing around with this one, I first started with using that squiggly corally or sand texture border and stuck one of the I stamped the coral down here in the Calypso coral. But I started, this is the reverse side, of the green leaves, the green on the back, but I started using them. What I did was I drew a circle. Actually, I used one of these circles, the vellum cutout circles, as my template, and I just drew a circle and then evenly placed the fronds, started placing them in the circle. And then the intent was I was going to put one of these on top of it, but it was just too busy. But as I looked at it, I thought, oh, that kind of reminds me of a snowflake or something, snowy. So I decided to make it a tropical holiday card. And this sentiment comes from the December 2018 Paper Pumpkin Kit. But, you must have some type of Merry Christmas or holiday stamp you could throw in there if you don't have that kit, or I'm sure there'll be one coming up, this later on this year. So anyway, so that's that, and that's Crumb Cake. This one I happen to do on, and I also stamped the corners on the inside. This one I happen to be 4 1/4 by 11, but you can easily make it a standard 5.5 by 8.5. Open the standard way. And then as I was playing around with some of the elements, I actually, I stenciled this. I forgot we had actually a stamp that stamps that, which you might be able to just do it easily that way. But I was looking at the remaining piece from our little vellum coral, and I thought, oh, that would make a stencil. So I placed it on the cardstock, and actually what I had to do was, because there's so little space from where it punches out to the edge of the piece, I actually taped all the edges you can see where it's still white on the edges, so that I wouldn't smudge over. So I actually sponged this with a dauber onto the paper. But as I said, if you have a good steady hand, you might just be able to use that stamp that comes in the set. So this measures 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, this piece of Calypso coral. The crumb cake is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then I just took 2 of the circle vellum pieces, cut them in half, and placed them in each of the corners. Then this piece is a 4 by 4 piece of Coastal Cabana, and I used the Detail Trio punch to do my corner rounding. You probably could have even used the little petal design there. That might have been kind of neat. But anyway, or whatever corner rounder you have to round the corners. And then this is a 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. Actually, it goes this way. 4 1/4 by 8 1/2 piece of cardstock. So it will fit in a standard envelope. It just makes it a small square card. So that's my third project. And my fourth project, I kind of got, I don't know, a little creative and whatever. So it's a piece of 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 Coastal Cabana. I don't know, was I saying Calypso coral before? This is Coastal Cabana. I don't know what I said. But anyway, and I stamped in the Coastal Cabana ink. I put a starfish on either corner and a sand dollar on either corner. And then I carefully took that little squiggly stamp and stamped down the sides and in the middle. And there's nothing underneath, but this is a piece of 3 3/4 by 4 3/4 crumb cake. And what I've done is I've taken 2 of, let's see, where are they? Yeah, 2 of these cards. And so I've taken the top of one and I just opened it up, and then I've taken the other one and I've put it actually this way. I didn't cut it because inside with the twine is a gift card, and I just stuck that on with some of the little glue dots that came in the kit. And because I happen to have an Amazon gift card, I thought the stamp set, the stamp's sentiment that said "You are amazing," and I was trying to get play on Amazon, and I stamped this portion. In fact, I will put a picture on my blog of how I did this, with taping over part of the word, the ing, stamping this, then stamping the ing, and then adding the ... dots. So I don't know, I was just thinking Amazon, amazing. I don't know, ridiculous. But anyway, and I just attached one of the sand dollars that came with the kit, and a piece of 1/2 inch by 2 3/4 inch crumb cake that I had also left hanging around. So this just ties up for your gift card to stay in there. And anyway, I thought that was kind of fun. So let me tie this back up. And give yourself, if you do this, give yourself plenty of twine. I'd say start with at least a 20-inch piece of the twine, because you're going to wrap it around this background piece first, and it's easier to tie bows when you have lots of twine to do that with. So then I just added one of the circle cut out vellum pieces. Oh, and then I cheated a little bit. I started by stamping the coral that comes in the kit and was going to cut it out, but I thought, you know what, I think I'm going to use a die. So what I did was I pulled the dies from the Under the Sea dies, and I used, there's a coral, it almost looks like the same one, and I just used this little coral die. But any of these elements would go great to make cards with this set. Even the stamps that are part of that bundle, or it's not a bundle anymore, but the Sea of Textures would go good with this. And also in the new current catalog, the Sailing Home bundle with its stamps with lighthouses and sailboats and such, and then it has this really nifty. I don't know, I call it a kelp, like kind of seaweedy stuff, and it has a little banner. So, you know, that would be a great set to also coordinate with this. Speaking of which, oh, I have one more project for you, sorry. And my last project was, I thought, well, I had these shell candies left over from my little thank you gift to my Stamp Club members. And I thought, well, these would make perfect little treat bag toppers. And these are our 3x6 cello bags. And I actually trimmed off a piece. This measures I think they're 3.5, and so yeah, 3.5. So what I did was I trimmed it, and I trimmed it just like about a scant eighth wider, just so it hangs over a little bit. And I actually used that piece for my sentiment here. And when I do cello bags like this, generally what I do is I will staple the piece with not the pokey ends here, but with the smooth ends, and then I'll put something over where the pokey ends, if you will, come through, so nobody gets their hands caught on that staple. The only time I do something differently is when I did, like, my granddaughter, I made for her preschool class, I made a bunch of treat bags, and I just used tear and tape. The bag will pop open a little bit. I mean, it stays closed, but it'll have a little more open here, but I figure the children won't get cut with anything that way. But generally, like I said, just staple it with your finished side here, and then you can cover up the ends with whatever you have on the front. So that's a little treat for someone, and just a little smile. It might make someone's day. Or if you have a child that goes to camp and they had a bad camp day, something like that might make them happy. But as I said, speaking of coordination, the July Paper Pumpkin kit is going to coordinate with 3 of our suites, the Woven Thread suite, the Garden Lane suite, and the Come Sail Away, which is this part of this suite. So these stamps and dies will coordinate with that. As you can see, this is one of the stamps from the set. This is some of the Garden Lane Designer Series paper, and some leaf dies, and then the woven threads. So those are 3 great suites that we have. The woven threads on page 12 to 14 of the annual catalog. The Garden Lane is on pages 40 and 41, and the Come Sail Away suite is on 144 and 145. So you might want to take a peek at that. And let's see, and then, so not to forget, a little more commercial, my June Stamp Club. Don't forget, I have my June Stamp Club projects, which actually also feature the Garden Lane suite. The videos are on my blog, and I will have a link on my blog post for this video that links to these and what's required. But basically, if you purchase by June 30th, place an order of $35 or more using this host code, I will send you the supplies to make these for free. You'll need the stamps or whatever, or maybe you have some other stamps that work, but anyway, you'll see what they are. And last but not least, I just advertised, I know it's the first day of summer, but I just advertised my fall, Christmas and fall sort of Stamp-A-Stack, and I'm featuring the Lots of Cheer holiday stamp set. I have 3 options, and the first option is basically just the cardstock and whatnot. If you're not local, you would have to have the stamps, and these have been colored with Stampin' Blends. So that would be option 3, because I have 3 options. I have one for local people who just want to come in, make the cards, use my stamps and whatnot, and then they're done. Or I have another option where you can get the Stampin' Blends, so you can color them. You could, if you already have the stamps, or if you want to come in and stamp them and take them home and color them. Or the third option is to actually get the stamp set and the blends, and I'll send you, it's 15 cards, and I'll send you the cardstock for free. And if that's the case and you're not local, I will, these have been cut with the stitched dies, and I will cut those out for you in case you don't have them. So that's another option. There'll be that listed on my blog, and I'll have a PDF again with my measurements for the June Paper Pumpkin projects, and it'll have links to all these other things. So thanks for listening. And if you don't currently have a demonstrator who's supporting you with your Paper Pumpkin, I'd appreciate your business. All you have to do is go into your Paper Pumpkin account and change it to me, Ginger Rabisa. So you can do that, or if you're just watching this for the first time and you're interested in Paper Pumpkin, I'd really appreciate your signing up with me. Or if you, again, need any supplies and you don't have a demonstrator, I'd be very happy to help you with anything from my online store. If you have questions or anything, I'm happy to answer. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.